Hi, my name is Jake, I'm 26 years old and I'm the writer-director that works for Skylight Showreels. Well, when I was in primary school, when I was younger, I was always really into writing short stories in class. I would always be constantly being creative, writing things in class. I was also really good at spelling, so everyone called me the spelling bee, and they were really invested in the stories I was writing. It was mostly weird action stuff, low-key ripping off every movie I'd seen at the time. But it was definitely something that made me feel like creativity and being a writer was something I was definitely good at. And that's why for the longest time, between primary school and start of high school, I was always thinking that I would become an author. I would write novels for a living. I had a few novels planned that I was intermittently writing throughout high school. But then when I was in high school, my final year in year 12, I was friends with a guy who was actually trying to become a filmmaker. He had a major work that he was working on, and it was going to be a short film. And he was because we talked a lot about movies and what we liked, what we didn't like, he asked me if I wanted to star in his film. That was my first experience being on a film set, and it was very invigorating, and it made me feel like that was the environment I wanted to immerse myself in more. Went to film school where I met Richard, and we got along really well from the start. There was a thing about the environment in that class where everyone was no, we have to do things on our own. We have to be competing with each other. And when I met Richard and we were in the same class together, we were talking about scripts, and he showed me a few of his ideas and his scripts, and I asked him if he wanted me to help him proofread his scripts. And yeah, that's where we got started. And a lot of people in the class didn't really like that I was helping him, but really it was kind of a mutual thing. He was teaching me some things about camera, and we would always collaborate together, so it didn't feel like I was overtaking him in any creative way. It was just helping him realize the kind of story he wanted to take and wanted to make without having to intercede in the creative process. So I was just there to help him facilitate what he wanted to do, and that partnership has worked on well, and that's why he asked me to join Skylight Showreels in the first place, because he knew I was good at writing scripts and he wanted to, collaborate more. And the rest is history. Controversial opinion, but I'm gonna have to go with the plants in the office. We're all coming from the same place. We all have a similar goal in mind. We're all there to create something that works and is good, and that's the part of collaboration I really like, that no one wants to set out to do a bad job. They want to work together to bring a product to the best level it can be. So they're not going to be competing with each other. They're all going to be as an actor would be thinking about how best to realize the project that he's working on, and he has to collaborate with the director on that, and the writer if the writer isn't the same person as the director. So it's all about creating that kind of synthesis that I really like. The writers, the directors, and the actors, the camera guy, everyone pretty much works along to create that project and make it the best it can be. It's just that synergy that I just really like. Everything comes together if you have the right people that you work with, and it's like clockwork, and that's what I love the most about it. I guess it would be no stress, because that's the thing that I say the most around the office. I'm trying not to let the pressure get to me. It's good to keep grounded and in the moment, rather than letting the amount of workload of the things that you're juggling at the moment overwhelm you in any way. So that's why it's kind of like a mantra I say, because it has the effect of grounding other people too. That's one motto. Trust yourself. That would be one for me. Just trust your instincts. Especially as a writer, you need to have minimal self-doubt so you don't judge your ideas too harshly before they're fully realized. Bottom line, if you judge yourself too harshly, you won't ever really create anything. So you just need to have the conviction and the drive to persevere, and know that when you first write a draft or first come up with an idea, it probably won't be as good as you think it will be, but if you stick to your guns, you'll make something great and make something worthwhile. Writing is rewriting, as they say. To write and direct my own feature films. Everyone that I work with at Skylight switch hats very often. Like actors are also directors, directors are also writers, actors are also writers. Like there's a lot of overlap there, except for you, Jem. I'm still waiting for you to put your acting hat on someday, but still holding out on that one. But it's just a very collaborative environment that everyone seems to get along well. We're all working for the same thing. We all want to uplift each other. We all support each other with our own projects. I'm constantly helping Orlando with acting, doing self-tapes with him, helping him in auditions. And with Jem, I'm sometimes helping her with not writing, but like proofreading, just like I did with Richard. It's very much like we all support each other in our own endeavors, and that's what I like a lot about it. Number 1, the Star Wars prequels. I know they're 3 movies, but technically I view them all as one continuous story. It's just a really interesting character arc that drives the whole 3 movies, so I just can't really watch one on itself. Number 2 is Prometheus, which was, in my view, the last really good science fiction movie made. It was made by Ridley Scott in 2012, and I think it does a lot of what I admire from George Lucas. It takes an established concept and really reinvents it, but still keeps it true to the original movie that he was basing it off of. Yeah, it just redefines the genre, and it has, in my view, the last really good female protagonist in Elizabeth Shaw. And my third favorite film, Borat. Jak jamais, you naughty naughty. It's kind of really liberating and just helping people. It's like helping people for the sake of helping people that I find really interesting. There's no expectations. You're just willing to volunteer your time just to help someone improve their craft. And again, it's partially networking, but it's also just partially like giving back to the community and being, generous with your time. Because I mean, a lot of people, they don't get opportunities to like pay for expensive like film courses and that sort of thing. So we just want to give actors, struggling actors, the opportunity to grow and to like find an environment where they don't have to be stressed about like financial issues or anything like that. They can just come in, they have the freedom to come in whenever they feel they're able to come in, and it just helps us too, because we meet new actors and they can kind of spread through word of mouth about us. It's a mutual thing, and I just like helping people act, and it's a lot of fun just to sort of work with someone. So yeah, that's the number 1 thing I'm kind of gaining from doing scene workshops and self-tapes with the actors from SAM.